One of the biggest stories in college football is obviously Mr. Primetime, Deion Sanders, and his Colorado Buffaloes. Man, like I said, I'm a fake Buffalo fan because Deion's my favorite player growing up, and you can't make me hate Prime. I don't care what y'all say. Prime can call all y'all devil worshippers, and I'm gonna be right behind the nigga like, yep, all y'all going to hell. That's how much I ride with Prime. I am very biased. I will not sit up here and act like I'm not biased. Having said all that, a lot of pressure on the program this year. Of course, we know they started real hot last season, but they cooled off towards the end. This was actually last night was their first game they won since October last year, and they ended up beating North Dakota State 31-26. Shedeur Sanders had a massive game, and Shedeur is looking like he's going to be a top 10 pick in this year's draft. Somebody, maybe even Mariano's Giants, will be very, very happy to take him. He went 26 for 34. He had 445 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, and one very fluky interception, which is why I always say that we should start treating interceptions like how they treat earned runs and unearned runs, because that one wasn't on Shedeur right there. And you had Jimmy Horn came in. He had 7 receptions, 198 yards, receiving 1 touchdown. But the story of the night was this nigga here. I feel is the best pure player in college football.
Face.
Yeah, my boy Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter also has 7 receptions, 132 yards, receiving 3 touchdowns, and a very crazy touchdown that I have no idea how he cut. And this is after Shedeur yelled at him just to catch the ball. He didn't care if it was pass interference before. There's a lot of pressure on this team. We talk about pre-Heisman favorites. If I felt Colorado was going to win more games, he would be at the top of the list for me as far as Heisman favorites. But I feel there's a lot of pressure because of not just people just love to see Prime lose, because when you somebody who is as loud as Prime has been since the day he got drafted, he had the primetime chain the day he got drafted. That's just who he's been throughout his career and how he's been through his playing career. We've seen some of the conversation about him kicking the media out, which I originally thought I didn't like it. But then I found out what the media person said about him, and I'm like, well, Nick, maybe next time you should watch him out. I do think there's a little bit of, I know a lot of journalists feel like they should be able to ask controversial questions. And I think there's a difference between asking controversial questions or asking the tough questions compared to just constantly nagging at somebody. If you call me a fake prophet, my nigga, you have nothing to do. Not only would I ban you from the room, I'm banning you from even being in the facility. Like, there's just certain stuff that I am just not rocking with. But I do feel like this team got to get it done. If they don't win 8-9 ball games, there's going to be a problem. As much as I love Prime, I think what we're seeing, especially with the defense last night, is that you just can't keep going through the transfer portal like it's NBA free agency. You know what I'm saying? You need to build the program up.
Now, though.
It is, but he be real heavy with it. It is how college football is.
Yeah, when you're up there fucking insulting your players after a bad game, saying, this offensive line is trash. And listen, I'm not saying that it's not a good offensive line. It's a terrible fucking defense. Sans Travis Hunter, the single bright spot. But brother, do you think you're going to get people invested in you and invested in your team? People have seen the track record and the body of work. Why would I want my child or my brother or whomever to go play for you to make you look good? Because if you're a talented player, you're a 4-star, 5-star, respectfully, you're not going to Colorado. You're not going to Colorado.
Talk your shit, Courtney.
Am I wrong?
No,
you might go for the
You are not wrong at all.
Attention, but you're not going to Colorado to win. We got to keep in mind, Colorado literally they won 2 games the season before last?
One. I think it was one.
I was going to say they won 1 or 2 games. They won 3 last season? 4. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
they won 4 games. They started 3-0, and then they proceeded to lose 7 of the last 8. Terrible.
Getting blown out too. These weren't just close. They were getting dogged.
Well, and I will say in their defense, so I don't sound like a Prime hater, pun intended. 8 of their losses were 1 possession games.
Ooh, okay, didn't know that.
Yep, and they beat my Sun Devils by a field goal, but I digress.
Yeah, and I think it might be people too that's like, if your kid is gonna go to Colorado, if you already like Prime, you love Prime, you might not even want your kid to go there so that you don't start to dislike crime, because you know what I mean. Like you said, you see how he is, and it's like, I fuck with you, bro, and I love what you're doing from afar, but I don't want to be so attached to that. So like, if my kid is the next best thing, I don't want him to come over there to a team that's already not perfect, and then you start to blame him and start to be like, yo, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that, and it's everybody's fault except, you know what I'm saying? Like it's
except for your children.
Yeah, like it's just a little, children. You know. But
again,
but
I understand he has to toe a very delicate line of being a coach and a leader of all the men in the locker room versus
and a father,
obviously just a father.
For sure.
Right.
For
but
sure.
What's the Colorado team gonna look like when Shadur is gone?
That's why.
With Deion like Magic, I'm not gonna be there.
That's why I believe Prime was better off going to like a South Florida.
I'm really curious to see what his next grift is going to be, because
Florida State.
That would be something. You think Mike Norvell is going to leave?
Count your days. Count your days after losing to Georgia Tech.
boy, yeah.
Count your goddamn days.
How much pressure is on them, Bang, for this?
I don't think it's that much, though. I'm sorry.
No, I believe it is a lot of pressure, and I believe that it's a lot of pressure because Deion Sanders put the pressure on them.
Yeah.
You go to a team like Colorado, you know that this team has been terrible. You have to build that program up. That's something that you're supposed to buy your time on.
Yeah.
But when you talk, you speed up the process because now people want to hate you. If Prime would have went there, and I ain't saying just be quiet. I'm not telling the black man to be quiet. What I'm saying is just understand where you at. It's logistics. Nobody's coming to Colorado.
Yeah.
This is not 1993, my G.
Yeah.
He could have did that at South Florida. He could have did that at Florida Atlantic. He could have did that in the area where he owns.
Correct.
But he didn't.
He prime recruiting hotbeds.
Right.
Yeah.
But he decided
so much talent.
He decided to go to a program that not only was Huff, but talent is not going to come there.
Yeah.
Even if you're there. If I'm choosing between
the same talent pool that's attending Colorado is also torn between USC and Oregon and Utah.
Right.
And even Utah has a better chance of being successful than Colorado.
That's my thing. This is the Colorado Primes. This ain't the Colorado Buffaloes. This is the Colorado Primes. So when he opens up his mouth, that's publicity. Yes. But it puts the target on your back, especially when you're not even as good as some of the worst teams in the conference that you're now in. Like now that you beat North Dakota State or whatever, now you got to go through a murderer's row. That's not even really a murderer's row for better teams, but it is for you because you're barely middle of the road.
Yeah.
Like them going up against Nebraska is not going to be an easy game for them. They're going to struggle.
Yeah.
So when you talk and you're Deion Sanders, people, especially black people, are going to automatically think, oh man, Prime now, oh man, you saw what happened at Jackson State. That was people that was really thinking that Colorado was going to be a monster like Alabama.
Who the fuck? Hold on.
Yeah.
Niggas who don't watch college football.
No, that's why I just told Scott I wanted to say
college football. Because no one who watches ball like we watch ball would have ever thought that.
That is why I told Scott I did have something to say on this.
I saw you open the bag. I was like, I know if you done. Well,
go ahead.
This nigga Deion Sanders has once again sold y'all a bag of bullshit. Man. And like, you need to just call a spade a spade.
Yeah,
he is there for his son, for Travis Hunter, for Shiloh. This shit is not a long-term plan. Like, stop.
For sure.
Like I love what he's doing. I love what he's building. Like, I'm not even gonna say what he's building in terms of a team. Just what he's been able to do with packaging his son, and Travis. Because the reality is, it's like I say this all the time as somebody who live in SEC country. Well, nobody worry about no fucking Colorado. Like, nobody's going to be worried about them for the next decade. Like, when you look at the pipeline that these schools have created, like, there's not a chance in hell he's gonna crack that. Like, that's just me being honest about it.
I mean,
like, he's a hell of a salesman, and like Scott said, for 3 weeks we all gonna fuck with Colorado every season.
And then after that, it's gonna be shaky. See, look, this is the thing. The way that Deion came in talking,
it's gonna be shaky next week.
I think that all of us root for him. And we respect like the way he came in talking, but he came in talking like he was getting the baton passed from an Alabama, from an SC, from a a team like that. Now, if he came in talking like that and saying, yo, we're going to continue this tradition, I think all of this would be warranted. Like, yeah, absolutely, because the pipeline is there. But if you want the sideline to continue to look like this, you see that?
Yeah.
You see Gilly on the sideline? You want the sideline to continue to look like that when your players make plays? You're going to have to really make this shit something, you know, special. And in college football, especially with that culture and the way it's been, it's tough in Colorado, bro. Like, you Deion and all that, but nobody's bigger than the program. Yeah, that's just what it is.
Yeah. And one thing, too, and I'll wrap it up with this. Deion win if because like I said, I think this is going to be an exciting offense to watch. I think it's going to be exciting to watch Shedeur and Travis put up punts. But I think Shedeur even said it yesterday at halftime. Like, I can't not score. I got to score on every drive. So I think there'll be an emotional roller coaster to watch every week. But I just hope we don't see, and it's probably gonna happen. This is just how he is. I don't want to hear Deion talking about, oh, y'all just want to see me fail. Now, if you niggas is losing again, it's gonna come. And you know, Deion hasn't done a lot of losing in his life. Like, so I know something that's new to him. When he went to Jackson State, they dominated right away, back-to-back SWAC champion, undefeated seasons. This is a little bit of a new thing, but I do feel if they can win the 8 or 9 games, and I think that helps a lot. But I think
they say 8 or 9 what?
I said if. I'm not saying they will. I got them winning.
Nigga, you got to put that. You got to put the if by 5.
Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah.
If by 5.
So y'all don't want to say one more. 8 or 9. How many seasons, nigga?
No, I didn't say 8 or 9. I didn't say they was winning 8 or 9. I said if they won. I'm not picking them to win no 8 or 9 games.
Scott, they're on the bottom of the Big. They're in the Big 12 now, and they're on the bottom of that. They got Nebraska next week. That's going to be a difficult
that's going to
game.
be. Yeah, they're going to get
Colorado State is always a difficult game because it's an in-state game. Baylor is going to be a difficult game. UCF is going to be a difficult game. They got to go against Kansas State, who has a Heisman Trophy candidate in themselves, and Arizona. They got Arizona on the road, my G. Cincinnati going to be a difficult game.
So you don't see 4 more wins,
bruh? They might get to. They might get 5.
That's what I said. Y'all respond to me like I said they were going to win 8 or 9.
They're not going to.
You said if 8 or 9. What I said was
not going bowling.
Yeah, you don't put if by that shit. You put if by the 6. 8 or 9. That nigga is coach of the year, fam.
Correct.
That nigga's Big 12 coach of the year if he wins 8 or 9 games, my nigga.
Yeah, you're right. By the way, I did not say 8 or 9.
Welcome to the college.
Nobody put me up. I didn't say 8 or 9.
No, you said
I'm at 5.
You said if. What I said was, nigga.
I was saying super best case scenario.
Nigga, that's not even the best case. That's not even
6 is the best case scenario.
Right,
like 6 and a maybe, my nigga. Like
right.
8 or 9. What?
That's like, crazy.
That's what we're telling you. That 6 is the best case scenario, my nigga.
Correct.
If he wins 8 or 9, my nigga, Jesus is really on Deion Sanders' side.
I'm about to say, nigga, you didn't see them fullbacks they got playing defensive line? Like, they not gonna stop nobody. Like, where are these 8 wins coming from?
I think I found this week's clip.
Don't get me wrong. I love Deion Sanders, but my nigga, you should not have set foot in Colorado. You should have went to South Florida where you know the terrain and everybody loves you. When you set foot in Colorado, you put yourself behind the 8 ball completely. And your son not only would have still been nice, he would have been nice against the competition at South Florida. Your ass could have won 8 or 9 games easily. Nah, your ass went to Colorado for what? For Michael Westbrook and Rashad Salam, my nigga? Fuck out of here.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not.